Harrogate. So if the idea of getting on a plane doesn't exactly fill you with excitement right now, and I can understand why, lots of people are obviously looking at staycations. So the growing staycation market is a huge opportunity, but not just for UK tourism, but also to attract more customers and look at recovery. So looking at recovering the local economy, but for all the businesses in and around a place to benefit from increased footfall. So Harrogate in Yorkshire is an absolutely beautiful place to visit. So what we're hoping to do is to help you guys understand how you can use that kind of staycation market, demonstrating local pride in the beauty of an area, and how it can help independent businesses. So as Amy mentioned, the Maybe Place Insight tool lets you benchmark all the social media activity, posts, engagement and sentiment within your place, and you can compare up to 5 locations. So you can also see how Harrogate's output and efforts compare to other towns and places in the nearby area. So the insight showed us, if you look at the left, so that's the percentage of organisations with social media, shows us that basically about half of businesses in Harrogate, marked in yellow, have social media accounts, and then this is slightly lower than the larger sort of county capital of York. So of those, of the half, an average of 36% of them are active every day, which is the graph on the right hand side there. Like in many places in the UK, there's a definite drop off there's a sort of drop off at the weekends, but obviously if you're a town and you're like Harrogate, you might benefit from weekend sort of staycationers, or whatever you would like to use that word, and out of towners, and the weekend is likely to be a really busy period. So what we'd love to suggest is looking at how you can ramp up your content over the course of the weekend, because obviously during the week you're driving people into your place, but at the weekend you still need to be driving people to the restaurants, the bars, all the things that are back open again, and help drive that local economy again. So the more that you engage, the more that you actually talk on social media, the much more likely people are to do it. So it might obviously be a blocker for businesses with resources allocated to social media. So you could obviously look at scheduling some content. There's loads of great tools that you can use. You can even just do it on Facebook, and at least look at how you can be active to any customer inquiries that come through, without detracting from the services that you provide. So obviously if you've got, like a tiny business and you've got less amount of people, it's just scheduling it in at the beginning of the week and try your best to engage a wee bit throughout the weekend to try to divvy it up, is what we would suggest. So then these slides, on the left you've got post volumes, and on the right you've got engagement volumes. So and Harrogate businesses take to Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and they create 2,700 pieces of content per day. And these social posts earn around 46,000 engagements per day, which is about 17 engagements per post, which is actually showing that, you're all pretty social in Harrogate, aren't you? And the engagement matches the post volumes, which is really good. And interestingly, although posting volumes dips at the weekend, engagement doesn't follow that pattern. So where you can see the little spike, it does suggest that customers are no more engaged at the weekend than they are through the week. So basically what we think is that if you make sure that you are posting a bit more on the weekend, your customers still will engage with you. So, they're all still there and they still are looking at your posts, but if you're not putting them out there, you can't drive the conversation. So it's just having a little look at scheduling, essentially. Then this lovely tool, one of my favorites. So this is the best post in place. So basically on here, you can see, this is literally what I would see. This is what you could see. You can go in and look at the best post in any place in the UK. And you can even go drill all the way down to streets. So here on the left hand side, this is the map view, where you can look at the best post on any given day. And all I do is click on one of these lovely little blue dots here, and the best posted place will come up, and I obviously know where they are, and then I can look at like what the best post was in that day, and then I can look at the likes, the comments, the shares, and then I can choose to engage with that post, and it can take me directly through to the Instagram, and I can take a look at what they're all about, and have a look at whether or not it's a business that would in any way help me in engagement. So let's have a look at the best posts. So I want to visit here, okay? So I'm just putting that out there. So we had a look at the best post on Friday, the 14th of August, and that was the spa. So the Rudding Park Hotel is a Harrogate spa break destination, which, yeah, we'd all love to be in right this second. And their best performing post, I guess, really shows off the natural beauty and relaxing environment of the surrounding area. They've used a lot of travel influencer photography, which is a great way to recognise previous guests and actually build on the kind of peer-to-peer recommendations. And then the hotel, if you have a look at it there, it uses a lot of locally relevant hashtags, as well as sort of broader spa break, staycation conversation hashtags for that kind of global and local appeal, or glocal, as well I might like to call it every now and again. But you can see that people are super engaged. They get a lot of likes on their posts, and they do a really, really fantastic job at, I guess, creating that FOMO. And if we look at the next page, I mean, come on. So the one on the left is actually a video, which is of beautiful deer, and they're all running across the golf course, and that got 16,000 views. I mean, it is insane. This was literally just the other day. And what they're fabulous at is creating FOMO, which every leisure destination, every restaurant, every cafe, anybody can do that. And they've used obviously a lot of shots of their own, of the landscape. They've used the videos, they've used images that their customers have shared, and then just capturing those like fun little moments. I mean, that was an absolute, it wouldn't necessarily be what you'd expect, and it certainly wouldn't necessarily be something you would expect to get 16,500 views on, but it really did. And that's because they use the hashtags. Video is always king on Instagram, and as I say, they're just very, very strong at creating that real sense of, oh my goodness, I really want to visit there. So massive well done to that hotel. And then let's check out some of the other posts. So this one was the Remnant House, and it's basically a fabric business, and they did really, really well in creating content that was both topical and showed off their range of products. So here, on the bottom right, this is basically just a gallery of their photos. So they're very much all product based. So they're showing all the different types of materials that you could buy from them, whether you're choosing to make something yourself or you want something specifically made. And then here is a lovely customer on the top left who has got fabric from there, they've turned it into a dress, and they've done a matching mask, which couldn't be more topical and perfect for right now. So clearly she wants to look good whilst adhering to the government guidelines. And I think that it was a really well done post, and it got 44 likes, and people were really interested in what they had to say about it. And I think it just goes to show that I think any business can show adherence to government guidelines, but in a nice way, without it always being very functional. So I think big well done to the Remnant House. And then some of the other best posts. So this one couldn't be more different. This is good old Monty's. So Monty's Bar does an absolutely cracking job on social media with some quite cheeky posts, if you look at their profile picture on the top right. But it really shows the kind of atmosphere that you would expect when you arrive. So it's occasionally, as I say, a little bit cheeky, tongue-in-cheek, but I guess what you can learn from this is what drives engagement, and they know what drives engagement. So for them, they're kind of like rock kind of bar, cocktails, fun, girls' night out kind of thing. And what drove a huge amount of engagement on this day was actually their cocktails. So it was just looking at, which do you fancy, which do you prefer? You can download a menu, you can order your booze and listen to some tunes and be in safe hands. And what I loved about that post is that it hit every kind of note. So it was fun. So it had the, the kind of like FOMO of, oh my God, I'm desperate for a cocktail. It then had the question, which drove engagement. It had an emoji, always good. And then it had the safety side of things, so the actual functional safety service side of it, which was explaining to people that they could come safely to that bar, that your service was going to be fantastic, and and it explained physically how to do it. See you at the bar. And I think that is how a post should be done. And I think a massive well done to Monty's, because to be honest, most of their posts are equally as engaged, and you can see that everybody is very excited about the idea of going down for a cocktail. So I think there's quite a lot that you can learn. If you've never gone on their Facebook page, there's quite a lot that any business can learn from that. And it's really just about understanding how to frame your content to your specific demographic, and anytime you add in a question or pick one, it does drive engagement. So yeah, really big well done to Monty's. And then another little one. So this was the Starling Independent Bar, Cafe and Kitchen. And so this was just them letting people know that they were open from 10 right through till 11, what they serve. And they used the professional photography that they had done and added the photographer, which again drove up their engagement. And they made sure that they used local hashtags and hashtags that were specific to them. So again, just a really good showcase, I guess, of how an independent business can take the photography that someone else has done, post it, as long as they at them, it's fine. And making sure that they're using the local hashtags and they're keeping to really short, sharp, kind of succinct captions and letting the image do the talking. So yeah, really, really good. And then the word cloud for Harrogate. So this is all of the conversations that are generated by Harrogate businesses over the course of the month. And what I'm very pleased to see is the really big one, which is hashtag Harrogate, because the biggest thing that we're constantly talking to towns, places, bids about is that we need to drive conversation around your place. So if you go onto your word cloud and your place isn't at the center, you need to do more to drive conversation, because the whole point in a hashtag is a signpost. So if you're looking on Instagram, any of the social channels, a hashtag quite literally is your direction. It's, oh, right, okay, Harrogate, that's where I need to go. And then the other ones kind of pad around it. And then when you take a look at some of the other ones that pop up, there are lots of very positive businesses when you have a look at it. So it's everything from, like summer, contemporary art, and then there's lots of local, very local hashtags. So the hashtag Harrogate Indies. What else do we have? We've got skincare, Primark, art lovers. So I think what's really nice is there's lots of different types of businesses that are all very, very engaged on social media. And I think the more that they can all come together and do more with the Harrogate, Yorkshire, North Yorkshire, all of those kind of hashtags, and mix them in with some of these ones, yeah, the better that you'll all do in terms of engagement and driving conversation. And then the sentiment score. Again, what we like to do is look at how we can drive up the sentiment, I guess, for businesses. And actually, the sentiment score was pretty strong here. It's pretty positive and, not far out of whack with the other areas, which is really good. So the key takeouts from our little visit is look at how you can use the beauty of your area. And I guess the difficulty for some people is actually a winner for anywhere that is picturesque. So look at anybody that is staycationing and how you can position yourself part of that conversation. Now you can use local photography and local content to drive conversation on your feed. And then listen and engage to the best posts in your place. So you will signpost many more people to your business. And then get involved in the big hashtag Harrogate conversation as well. Make sure